Hi everybody, thank you for coming back and joining me on another Office 365 Insider brought to you by Otolo Intranet. It's a little while since I've done one of these videos, it's probably about 6 weeks it's coming up to, so I want to go back and cover everything that we've missed over December. Fortunately for us, Microsoft has taken a bit of a break through December, so not an awful lot happened. I imagine like everyone else they had a code freeze, so we're going to see a normal amount of deployments we'd expect to see over a couple of weeks, and then we can kickstart this back into a bi-weekly session, or maybe even a weekly session if people prefer that, so I can keep it a little bit shorter. So as you might see in a moment, we have a slight rebrand, which it's all changed now to Otolo Insider, so brought to you by Otolo Intranet. Very excited about that. If you're interested in a new intranet solution for Office 365 2019 or 2016 on premises, then please look us up and see what we're doing. We've got some really cool stuff going on at the moment, so it's well worth a check out. I've got a bit of a mission this year. I really want to start bringing my subscriber count up a little bit so that more people can get the benefit of these update videos. So if you don't mind, please do subscribe to the video. Please do share this with your partners and your customers as well. Get them to subscribe. Keeping up to date with this kind of information on what's changed in the Office 365 platform is really useful. So please do share it. Please do help me get those numbers up, and then we can actually find more people to get benefit from this. So please do go ahead and do that. Now there is a little bit to get through today, so what we're going to do, jump straight into the screen share, and we'll run through some of the issues that have been happening in the environment and updates to the roadmap over the last 6 weeks. So jumping straight in, so we're coming in from the 29th of November. If I jump into Message Center updates, at the moment we just have one Message Center current issue in my own tenant. Now it's important to remember these are coming from my tenant and not necessarily from yours. So if you're on a different part of Office 365, a different farm, you may see different things to this, but it gives you a good guide of what you may be experiencing at the moment. So right now there is an issue currently where the Excel client crashes. That's been going on since the 14th of January, so I think that's the online version of Excel, not necessarily the desktop one. Okay, so let's see what items have been closed since the 1st of December essentially. So we've got 41 items here, and we'll zip through these. Okay, so can't sync policies, so admins were unable to sync policies in their tenant for SharePoint Online. There was issues with Office 365 video, stream live events and flows, and that was effective for a few hours on the 4th of December, so you may have experienced those. Again, around the 4th of December for most of the day, can't update other users in Exchange Admin Center. I've noticed a much shorter messages on these, so we don't get as much detail as we normally do. So again, from the 1st of December to the 12th of December, we may have had some issues in Skype for Business where we couldn't send messages or make calls to specific federated users. Unable to access Outlook on the web between the 5th and the 6th of December. This was a false positive, so that means that it actually wasn't an issue even though it was reported as such, but some people felt that there was search issues with Exchange Online. There was an incident between the 2nd and the 10th of December where users were unable to access content in OneDrive for Business, so you may have received some support calls around that. Can't access sites. There were some issues again between the 2nd and the 10th, so obviously related, where users couldn't access their SharePoint Online sites. So they may have seen latency or intermittent page load failures. Between the 11th of December, for a couple of hours, inability to access Microsoft 365 services or features. Can't view public folder calendars in Outlook for the web, so users may have been unable to view public folder calendar data in Outlook on the web. And between the 9th and the 12th of December, can't see message body when the to or CC or BCC line expands, so this is Exchange Online. Again, 12th of December, can't access multiple Microsoft 365 services. It's interesting when we see these dates, we can start to pin down when Microsoft rolls out updates and get little glitches. 12th of December, can't access Microsoft Stream. Mobile devices being quarantined, so on the 12th, 13th of December, well, just literally for a couple of hours here, some users attempting to access Exchange Online on their mobile device may have been quarantined from the service. There was, between the 9th and 13th of December, through Skype for Business, there was an issue where users were unable to call numbers with a +65 country code. Exchange Online migrations were broken again on the 12th to 16th of December. So it almost sounds like this is the period of time before the Christmas code freeze happened. So let's see when these affected issues stopped. I bet it's not long after the 16th of December. So it looks like they're getting a bunch of updates in time for the holiday season. Teams only users can't send messages to some users in Skype for Business. Slowness and timeouts. On the 17th of December, users may have experienced slowness and navigation errors when accessing OneDrive for Business content. Same with SharePoint Online. Can't view recent files. On the 17th of December, users may have been unable to view recently accessed files via the Files tab. Delayed profile updates. So in Yammer here, on the 19th of December, users may have experienced delays in seeing changes to Yammer profiles after updating. And unable to receive Yammer notification emails on the 20th to 21st of December. Can't unblock users in Security and Compliance Center. This was the 19th to 28th of December in Exchange Online. There was missing Microsoft 365 groups reports for December the 8th to December 16th. Can't receive admin usage reports. So again, the 25th from Christmas to the 29th, admins may have been unable to receive admin usage reports starting from December the 23rd. Someone had a bad Christmas, obviously got called into the office. Can't access Outlook on the web from the 6th of January to 7th of January. So you see we're a bit of a jump here now from the holiday period through to the beginning of January. So I guess the code freeze starts to get lifted around the 6th of January, but users were unable to access Outlook on the web. Power BI can't publish, refresh or view content on the 7th of January, a few hours there. Can't access mailboxes via all protocols in Exchange Online, so users may have been unable to access their mailboxes. Can't access the archive mailbox, similar time, so that's probably related. Can't access Teams on the 9th of January, that's just for an hour, so users may have been unable to make calls or join meetings in that time. In fact, actually that was a false positive, so it wasn't a real issue. Microsoft 365 Admin Center visibility issues. So on the 8th to the 9th of January, admins with Norwegian language selected may have seen a blank screen when accessing the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Delays for provisioning in OneDrive for Business on the 10th of January for about 3 hours, and the same with SharePoint Online. There's some problems purchasing new and managing existing subscriptions on the 11th of January. That lasted for most of the working day in the UK. Message trace incorrectly displays getting status. So if admins were doing a message trace in Exchange Online, they may have been getting displaying a getting status report for emails that had been delivered. Can't run e-discovery searches in the Security and Compliance Center. That was between the 27th of December and the 13th of March. So admins may have experienced a 401 unauthorized error when attempting to run e-discovery searches in the Security and Compliance Center. Can't access Teams on Surface Hub devices between the 7th and the 13th of January, so you may have seen some support issues there. Can't access governance and compliance data in Internet Explorer for Exchange Online. Can't create new calendar events in Exchange Online. That was 6th of January to the 13th of January, so that may have caused some issues, people coming back from holidays. And can't, again, Exchange Online, can't view, download Security and Compliance Center message traces. Can't access Planner, so what's this, about 3 hours on the 16th of January. Some users may have been unable to access sign in and access Planner. Okay, so jumping through there, the issues that we've seen over the last 6 weeks, so actually not too bad. Exchange Online's got a brunt of them, so I guess there's been some updates and changes there. But what we're going to do now, let's go and have a look at the roadmap. So the purpose of this bit is to see what Microsoft is delivering into the Office 365 service. This tends to be new features. So what we can focus on here is what new items have entered the launch status in the last couple of weeks. So by launch, that means they should be available across all tenants around the world. And then we've got items in the rolling out status, so new items that have entered that status in the last 6 weeks. And these are the ones that you should start seeing. You may not see them straight away in your tenant. It can take a few weeks sometimes to roll out across the whole world. And then we'll look at what items Microsoft has moved into the in development status as well. So this gives a little bit longer term view of what's actually coming out. Now it's important to remember this isn't everything in that status currently. These are the new items that have entered that status. It will take too long for us to cover everything, so I'll try to focus on the new things. So if you check this video out every week or every other week when I publish it, then you should be able to keep up to date with the information that's important to you. Nice thing with this is it gives you the ability then to go out to your users and actually get them ready for what's changing. You're more prepared to support them when new features arrive in your tenant. So very useful, so it is worth paying attention to. So we've just jumped back into the screen share and let's nip over to our roadmap. So what have we got? So actually, again, we can see over the holiday period, not an awful lot of activity. So we've just got 6 items that have entered the launch status, 7 that have entered the rolling out status, and 25 that have moved into development. So hopefully we shouldn't keep you too long today, but let's just go through these quickly. So what new items have completed their rolling out and are now launched over the last 6 weeks? Well, Microsoft has introduced the reimagined Microsoft project, so they are pleased to announce the rollout of the new project to existing Project Online Professional and Project Online Premium customers. And this is designed to be visual, easy to use and collaborative. You can manage your work flexibly from ad hoc projects to complex initiatives. This looks quite interesting, so I may well plan a little demo of this at some point. World clock and weather updates. So Microsoft has added a world clock web part with and updating the weather web parts functionality. Page edit, undo and redo. So you now have the option to undo changes while authoring your pages. I do apologise, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, so I apologise if my speech is a bit messed up. SharePoint Pages now has vertical sections, so rather than just stacking content side by side, we can actually do vertical sections, so that will be really useful. It's great to see lots and lots of new page layouts come into the modern experience here, so it gives us a lot more variety. As we know, it's difficult to customize the pages in the same way that we could before, so it's nice to see these new page layouts coming in. Maybe we'll have a look at those in a demo another time. Microsoft Whiteboard integration in Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Whiteboard integration in Microsoft Teams will allow people to ideate, is that a real word? And collaborate on a range of workplace scenarios and enable people to bring ideas to life together. I can see that marketing has very much got involved with these updates. If you haven't checked out Microsoft Whiteboard yet, do. It is pretty cool. It works really nicely. And the fact we can now embed these whiteboards into Microsoft Teams just makes Teams, again, a little bit stronger for bringing everyone together into one place to do their work. Presenter and attendee roles for meetings in Microsoft Teams. So meeting organisers will now have an option to define roles for meeting attendees, presenter and attendee. Presenters will have full control over the meeting, whereas meeting attendees cannot share content, take control, mute or remove other participants, or admit people waiting in the lobby, or start and stop recording. Okay, so that's everything that's entered the launch phase over the last 6 weeks. Like I said, I'm not surprised. It's been the holiday season, so I'm not surprised we haven't seen more than that. So 7 items have entered the rolling out phase since the 1st of December. So the first one we have here is natural language queries in ideas in Excel for the web. So ask a question of your data using natural language query and ideas in Excel for the web, and ideas will populate with formulas, charts or pivot tables that help you glean insights from your data. This stuff's really cool. I've been playing with this in Power BI for a little while. So bringing this to Excel on the web is really good. We've got big stacks of data. It's nice to be able to ask natural language queries of it. It's really powerful for users that don't have a data scientist head on the shoulders. Again, Excel for Windows is getting the same capabilities as well, so natural language queries, and also Excel for the Mac. We have enhancements to Office 365 quarantine notifications and alerts. This is Microsoft Information Protection. With this change, the email template used for end-user spam notifications will be modified to conform with other Microsoft email templates. I think we've seen this in development or rolling out previously. Microsoft Teams, dynamic emergency calling for direct routing. Okay, so what's this? Dynamic emergency calling is a feature of Microsoft Teams phone system. It uses the caller's current location to route to a public safety answering point, a call center operated by the local government. The first release was for support with Microsoft calling plans, and this is the second release which adds support for direct routing. Please note that configurations will differ based on local laws governing emergency calling, and please check with your local agencies for specifics. I wonder if this is largely US based or if this is actually relevant around the rest of the world. That's not something we use. Okay, so for GCC, for government tenants, introducing multilingual support for government. So multilingual support is now available for GCC. With multilingual support, the form designer can add multiple language versions, which allows respondents to choose their preferred language. All responses will then be stored in a single form for easy analysis. This is obviously relating to Microsoft Forms. Microsoft Teams phone system administration enhancements. So part of our ongoing process to bring additional workloads to Microsoft Teams Admin Center, the following new or improved features will be available. So we're getting Microsoft Calling Plan. Customers will be able to search, acquire and assign phone numbers to end users. Admins will also be able to create and assign emergency addresses for those end users. And additionally, customers will be able to create, test, manage custom dial plans, configure dynamic emergency calling, and use improved configuration for auto attendance and call queues. Okay, so that's everything that's currently rolling out. So we should be seeing those in our tenants either straight away or coming soon. Okay, so let's move into the in development. So these are the new items that Microsoft has started working on since December the 1st. So Yammer is getting improved network branding. So the new Yammer homepage will inherit the Office 365 suite navigation and all network admins to upload a company logo that gets displayed on the web and in mobile apps. Yammer again, new publisher for Yammer web app. So Microsoft are expanding the use of announcements so you have the same reach with polls, questions or praise, and they're making improvements for GIFs, videos, link previews and file attachments to make sharing content simple. I think last year was supposed to be a year of Yammer, but it sounds like we're getting the rollouts now, unless they cram them all into December just to get them in there. So Yammer again, attach recently used files in Yammer. So when attaching files to Yammer posts, Microsoft will display your 3 most recent files for using Office Graph. This stuff is really useful. We've seen this in Outlook for a little bit. I love this. So if I work on a document and then I go to compose a new email, on the attachment it now suggests recent documents that I've worked on, making it really easy. It's most likely that's a document I want to attach to email. So bringing this to Yammer is going to be really useful for a lot of people. Okay, Exchange, what's this? Exchange for Education. Outlook on the web is becoming a progressive web app. So Outlook on the web can be installed and added as a progressive web app in Chromium-based browsers. Makes sense now that Edge Chromium is fully released. Outlook on the web, new experience in mobile browsers. Outlook for Windows, administrator notification of Outlook incidents. So Microsoft 365 tenant administrators will be notified about Outlook incidents affecting their users with a new Outlook for Windows right side panel notification. Yammer, new Yammer home feed. So a new personalized discovery feed powered by AI connects you with conversations from across your organization and prioritizes the conversations that are most relevant to you. Okay, so GCC introducing file upload and Microsoft Forms. We've seen file attachments already come to Microsoft Forms for everyone else. That's now coming to government tenants. It's nice to see that coming through a little bit quicker than normal onto government platforms. Microsoft Teams add additional participants to meeting chats. So today in private meeting chat threads, users don't have functionality to easily add more participants to chat. This feature will add an entry point to add participants in the meeting chat header, and users who are already part of the chat thread will be able to add more users to the meeting using this feature. This functionality currently exists in group chat and will work exactly the same way as in group chat. Outlook for Android top results. The best 3 results from your keyword search is presented on top of the search in Outlook, in addition to results in chronological order. Outlook for iOS, search results presented in a tab view, so keyword search results presented across all mail, contacts and events tabs. Outlook for iOS top results, best 3, same as what we've just seen. Pinned conversations in Yammer communities, so community managers can now pin a conversation to the top of the feed, help orient users by pinning a welcome message, sharing best practices, or extend the longevity of announcements by pinning polls, praise and questions. That's useful, that's something we see in a lot of community and group-based software. We can customize all company community branding, so this is for Yammer again. Customize all company feed to bring your organization's unique branding and culture into the default Yammer community. This is one of the top user voice requests. New all company capabilities like cover photos and read-only conversations mean you can use this prominent community to land key messaging, welcome new members, promote company-wide initiatives, or even just reinforce company values in the only community that all Yammer users belong to. I'd be very interested to hear comments, people who are using Yammer, people who are still investing in Yammer. Microsoft has said they're doubling down on it, so I'm interested to see how these users are still working and if these features are welcomed. Yammer, community cover photos in Yammer. New community branding gives you the power to style your community your way. Upload a cover photo to show off your community's identity, share a campaign, or publicize a community event. Yammer again, close the conversation in Yammer. So along with pinning, we're also giving, Microsoft is also giving community managers the ability to close conversations. This is useful. We see this in the likes of Facebook threads in groups and things like that. So if a conversation reaches a natural endpoint or starts to become slightly controversial, then we have the ability to actually close off those conversations to stop additional posts being made. Renaming of groups to communities in Yammer. So community is the new driving force at Yammer. And to better reflect the purpose and role of Yammer with Microsoft 365, Yammer groups will be renamed to communities. I think that makes sense actually. There's a lot of confusion between Microsoft 365 Teams, Microsoft 365 Groups, Yammer Groups. I think moving that to communities, I think it helps explain where you might want to use Yammer as opposed to some of the other tools that are available. With that, there will be the ability to pin your favorite communities in Yammer. Microsoft Teams, number normalization rules. So tenant administrators often need to change the coolie or call number for inbound and outbound numbers in order to ensure interoperability with SBCs. A number translation rules policy can be used to alter these numbers, and the policy can translate either coolie or caller number to a desired format. Outlook on the web, a room feature card. So you will be able to see room features and details in the room card in Outlook on the web. This feature uses the same data used for room filters in set place, which admins can set in PowerShell. Nearly there. Teams, Outlook email integrations. Teams Outlook email integrations make it easy to share information between email and chat with 3 new features. Share email to Teams, share an email from Outlook, including any attachments to a channel or chat in Teams, share a conversation via email, share a Teams conversation via email without leaving the app, reply to missed activity emails, see the latest messages, and respond to Teams missed activity emails from within Outlook. I slightly confused myself reading that, so hopefully it makes more sense as you read through it. Okay, OneNote integration in Teams, so users will see the ability to add a OneNote notebook to their Teams channels. This is coming to GCC. We've seen this recently elsewhere, which is good. That's great because I don't really understand the difference between the standard wiki we get in Teams and OneNote. Why not just have OneNote? reply all storm protection. Okay, great. So when a reply all mail storm happens in your organisation, it can disrupt business continuity and even cause unexpected throttling of your organisation's mail flow within Office 365. Now, if you're not familiar with this scenario, it is very frustrating. Let's say we have an organisation of 10,000 people or 100,000 people. An email goes out to everybody in the business, make an announcement, and then someone replies all saying, please remove me from this thread, and then someone else does a reply all saying, please remove me from this thread, and then someone then starts replying saying, please can everyone stop replying all in a reply all, and this just goes on and on and on and on for a long, long time, and that is known as a reply all mail storm, and it really is frustrating. You just get bombarded with tons and tons of emails, and it really puts a lot of pressure onto the mail servers. So actually protecting against that is going to be really useful. So I for one welcome this this tool coming in. Support for plus addressing in Office 365. Plus addressing is a great way to quickly create custom or disposable email addresses based off your standard email address by simply adding a plus suffix string to an existing email address in Office 365. For example, a plus address for kaimakers@contoso.com could be something like kaimakers plus northwind@contoso.com that she could use to sign up for the newsletter at the Northwind website. Then, when Northwind send a newsletter to kaimakers@northwind@contoso.com, it will route directly to kaimakers@contoso.com, and Kim Ackers, there we go. Kim could create an inbox rule that then moves email messages sent to this plus address into Northwind folder. This is the first time I've heard of this, and this sounds brilliant. So I can see a lot of people using this when they do sign up to partner websites, to sign up to download an ebook, and you have to give your email address, things like that. This is going to be really, really useful, that we can create a one-off email address for different uses, and then we can see who is sharing our content. So if we sign up for a particular partner and then we start getting emails to these plus email addresses from somebody else, we know that that partner has shared that email address. This is going to be very, very useful, and I'm really looking forward to this. Apparently this is coming in Q4 2020, so we do have a little time to wait to see this, but I can't wait to see this coming into the rolling out category later in the year. Message recall in Exchange Online. So the Outlook for Windows message recall feature is extremely popular with users, yet it doesn't always work so well. Part of the problem is that the recall is client-based, and the recall can only happen if the recipient also uses Outlook. With millions of users and mailboxes in Office 365, Microsoft is now able to improve upon that feature by performing the recall directly in the cloud in Office 365 mailboxes. So it doesn't matter which email client the recipient uses, the recall takes place in the Office 365 mailbox. And when their client syncs their mailbox, the message is gone. While there are still some conditions where the recall still won't happen, like the message being read by the recipient, moving the recall to the cloud significantly improves the recall success rate. This is great. I do this often where I accidentally hit Control Enter or something when I'm trying to format an email, and I send it before I'm ready to send it. So quite often I have to either remove people off the to line or the CC line, or we actually set a mailbox rule that says don't send my email for 5 minutes, so we can go into the outbox and save it. But actually having this extended recall option is going to be really, really useful, I think. So I'm quite looking forward to that coming in. I'm definitely one of those people who accidentally sends email at the wrong time. Okay, so that is everything that we have in our list of updates for today. So even though it's been a little while, it's nice that it's not too long. So I'm going to try and run these. I'm going to commit at least every other week, but I'm going to try and run them weekly and keep them shorter. I'm conscious I don't want them to run into half an hour or an hour long if there's a lot of updates. So maybe if I do weekly, if I get the time to put that together, then hopefully we can keep them down to about 10-15 minutes, which I think will be a lot more useful. What we're doing, we're running about 30 minutes today, so that's not too bad, especially since it's a while in. So thank you very much. Like I say, I've got a target this year where I want to try and hit 1,000 subscribers to the list. So if you find this useful, please do share it with other people. Please do subscribe. I don't do it for money. I'm not doing it to monetize the YouTube channel. I'm purely doing it to just get the information out there for community. But I think this information is really useful. If you do as well, then please share it with your customers, your partners, everyone else you're aware of. And please help me get this out to more people. It just means I can then commit more of my time if I know people are actually watching it and are interested in it. So please go and check out Atollo Intranet if you're looking for an internet solution. Please hit the subscribe button below, and I look forward to coming back next week. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you soon.